So, today is the last day of January. Excuse me. And in the UK, it's Brexit Day. Over here in the US, we're still in the middle of an impeachment proceeding. And so, let's see, what do I want to say really? Well, there are people who wanted to be in the European Union, people who didn't. People who were happy about it when it started out as the common market, but then it changed. And I remember thinking, way back then, that the common market was probably a good idea because, if Europe had so many wars. My father was one of the people who went over there to fight in World War II. And I guess before that, one of the reasons that my great-grandparents left Poland was because of all the wars. And I thought, well, if the people could have a reason to not fight with each other, such as trade and things like that, maybe it would calm down. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But then as more and more regulations and things became top-heavy and people wanted this and people wanted that, and, people decided they didn't want it. And that's legit. If you're going to have self-determination, then that's what it is. I mean, people have to decide. You can't have, say, self-determination is right if it's people in Africa or the Caribbean or Asia saying they don't want Europeans telling them what to do, and then say, well, self-determination isn't good if somebody else is telling the people in Britain what to do. So I guess what I want to say is happy Brexit Day to the people who wanted Brexit. To the people who didn't want Brexit, sorry about that, but that's the way it is. And if you want to have a democracy, the people who lose have to accept that they lost. And if you go around saying, well, next time we'll win, well, yeah, okay, that's totally fine, but then the people who lose that time aren't going to accept that you won, okay? So it's got to happen every single time. The people who lose have to accept that they lost. And if you want to change people's minds for the next time, that's what you do. But you don't keep screaming and calling people names and everything, because that isn't going to get them to side with you. I mean, just consider, your neighbors or whatever. If your neighbor's nice to you and sits and talks with you over a cup of coffee, they might be able to convince you of something. But if every time you come out your house, they stand out there and shout and swear at you and call you names, it's probably not going to improve your relationship. Just something to think about. Yes, we are here in the United States in the middle of a very similar thing where people are just not accepting the results of an election and are trying everything they can do to change it. And, I go back a ways, so I remember not only the Clinton mess, but I also remember the Nixon mess. And I remember a lot of conflict before that, too. So, what I remember? I remember I was really shocked when Kennedy and Nixon were running to succeed Eisenhower. Yes, I do go back that far. I remember the Kennedy-Nixon debates. And I was shocked because when I heard that there were people who would not vote for Kennedy because he was a Catholic, and living across the street from a Roman Catholic church, St. Andrew's, and going to, being in a Roman Catholic family, surrounded by other families that were Roman Catholic, That was a total surprise to me. It never occurred to me that, I guess it never occurred to me there were people who weren't Roman Catholic, although I did know some Jewish people. And um, but yeah, there's nothing new about people not being able to get along with each other. So, no, just if you don't like what's happening today, have a glass of wine or a bar of chocolate or a pizza or something and just, get on with your life. Okay, I'm going to go get on with my life. Bye-bye.